Welcome to our tutorial about parameters. Let's go to the Home tab. We'll create some geometry. And let's go to the Parametric tab, apply some constraints to our geometry. Then we'll hide the constraints by clicking Hide All. Now let's apply some dimensional constraints. First here, let's change the value to 8. We also have the ability to change the dimension name. For example, instead of D1, I can use A1 or whatever name I prefer, such as length, width, and so on. Let's go to Constraint Settings by clicking this arrow. Select the Dimensional tab. Here we can choose the dimension name format or its appearance, name, value, or name and expression. Let's click OK. And let's apply another dimensional constraint. Between this point and this point, place it out here. This time I'll type D1 equals A1. This is obviously a formula. The dimension I created, D1, is equal to A1, and that I've already dimensioned at 8 units. If I change the value of A1 to 7 units, the second dimension will update automatically. Okay, let's go back to the Home tab and place a second rectangle now. And I'll constrain it on the Parametric tab. One more, and let's hide all the constraints. Let's apply a couple more dimensional constraints. I'm going to type D2 equals A1 divided by 2. Now we've got a second formula. D2 is equal to half the length of A1. Let's place another dimension. Let's make this dimension equal to pi. Just type in the letters pi. And let's just adjust the position of the dimensional constraint. Actually, maybe it's better to move the dimensional constraint to the other side. We just select it and drag it. I'm going to modify A1. Let's make it 8 units. And now both D2 and D1 have updated. Next, let's click Parameters Manager. That's on the Manage panel of the Parametric tab. Here are my dimensions. A1 equals 8 units. D1 equals A1, which is also 8 units. D2 equals half of A1, currently 4 units. And D3 equals pi, or 3.14, etc. The next thing I'm going to do is create a user parameter. Let's click this button up at the top of the window. We can rename it if we need to. Let's change the value to 5. And now let's learn how to use this parameter. I'm going to create another square. Parametric tab, Constraints. And let's hide these constraints when I'm done. One more. Okay, we're ready for a dimensional constraint. Let's say D4 equals user1. Let's place one more dimensional constraint between this point and this point. And the value will be user1 multiplied by 0.75. Let's uncollapse the Parameters Manager panel again. I can change my parameters right from the manager. The geometry updates immediately in Model Space. Here we have the ability to organize our parameters into folders. We just grab and drag them, drop them where you want to file them, or you can right-click and select New Filter. Select All. Here are three-dimensional constraints that belong to the folder group Filter 1, and our user parameter belongs to Group Filter 2's folder. And this concludes our tutorial about parameters.